Welcome to Backstage Pass with your host, David Nairn.
Hi, everybody. It's David. Welcome to our first episode of Backstage Pass. This is going to be a feature every couple of weeks where we're going to, I'm going to chat with stars of your favorite stars that have performed on your stage, maybe some playwrights, and we're just going to have a great casual conversation. And if you've got any questions anytime that you'd like me to ask any of our fantastic superstars that I'm going to be interviewing, just let me know. No better way to start off this series than with one of my best friends and favorite actors of all time, Debbie Collins. Deb, how are you this morning? You're doing well?
All things considered, David, I am fantastic. And thank you for such a gleaming intro. My goodness.
You're happy, you're healthy. That's all we care about. Everybody wants to know about.
Everybody's good. Everybody's great.
Good. Okay, so as everybody knows, well, maybe some of you don't, but I'm sure you've seen Debbie on your stage super many times. Brilliant and Sexy Laundry.
What's that?
Yeah. Brilliant. I used the word brilliant. Oh, and I see you've got your cup from Christmas Story. And what character did you play in that, Debbie?
Oh, well, just to remind me, I played
That's fantastic.
No.
So Sexy Laundry, Last Christmas Turkey, where we made you dress up like an owl. Christmas Story, of course, Men of Positive going back. You've been teaching adult acting classes for us. One of my favorite shows that you've ever, that Judy Garland show of yours is, you are channeling her. You are channeling her. Your love for that woman is just incredible. Tell me a little bit about that show.
Oh my gosh, I wrote that show in 1999, in the last century. And, it started off at the Orangeville Opera House. It was the first show in the studio, the new studio theater space. And it ran for, 3 or 4 weeks. And then we got extended, which has never happened to me since or before. And and the show was horrible back then, but it was my jumping off point. Yeah. And it has since had several lives, and I've been working on it for over 20 years now. And I just love that show. And in fact, I've got a sign out in I'm in my backyard now. I've got a sign out in my yard. This is what actors do, folks, when they're not working, is they set up their backyard like a theater. So I've got my original Talk of the Town sign up on my fence to remind me of my humble beginnings with my beautiful Judy show. And yeah, I love everything she sings. I love the key that she sings in. It's sort of I like to think of it as my wheelhouse, and the story. I mean, you can't make up stuff like that. You really can't.
Yeah, I know, it's incredible. And I mean, you're always such a joy to watch and to work with, and of course, you had to endure, I guess, last summer playing opposite me, I guess, in that amazing Midsummer Night's Dream that we did out at Island Lake. Wasn't that that was the best time ever, wasn't it?
It was wonderful, and my favorite part was just gazing at you adoringly as you search for all of your lines.
There's one. Oh, thank goodness you're still staring adoringly. There's another line. I don't know about you, but I haven't done Shakespeare in, if I was on it, probably 35 years. Yeah. And it was the most exhilarating and exciting and wonderful experience. But I must confess that I felt so out of my league, and I felt like I was just struggling to keep up with everybody else who.
Well, I had never done Shakespeare, so it was a departure for me. And I spent most of the time being terrified, but it was an incredible experience, and being outside and being with all of those talented people, and Colin Simmons directing, and the young company and all of the community play. Like, it was wonderful. I've never had an experience like that. It was great.
You've been you've done fabulous shows for us. You work all across the country. You work all over the place. What's the weirdest or funniest or oddest experience? Audiences always ask me, do you make it up? Do you try and break one another up? What do you do? And I'm always curious about what's the weirdest experience you've ever had on stage? Something going wrong or any of that kind of stuff?
Okay. Well, one jumps to, I've had many.
So have I.
and I've loved that. I love it when things go awry, and it really sort of tests your, I don't know, your concentration or your focus, I guess, at that time. I'm always terrified when everybody else on stage breaks up and it's not something that the audience is in on. That terrifies me. You know, I was in a production of the Producers, Mel Brooks' Producers, back in 2003 or something like that. It was, you know, forever ago. But Michael Terrio, who is
Michael, yeah,
I just adore his commitment and talent and his energy. He's a wonderful, wonderful young man. Came on and improvised a line, which he never does, because he was late for an entrance. Something happened, I don't know, but he improvised a line, and the whole cast went up. Everyone was laughing. I was terrified. I was like, how do I get this? How do I fix it? How do I fit, you know?
How do I fix this? What he's done?
I was playing third old lady from the left in this scene, right? So things like that. But I once did a play reading that I won't name the play or the playwright, but it was not a good piece of work at all. And it was a staged reading in front of an audience. And I was just so, I mean, I had to see it through because I said I would do it. So I did it. It was a bomb. It was just the worst. And nothing I could, you know.
I know. We've all been there. We've all done that.
Yeah.
Michael
Anyway.
would be thrilled to hear you call him a young man. I was just thinking it's probably almost 20 years ago that Michael was here doing Billy Bishop Goes to War. And he was certainly a young man, but I'm sure he'd be happy to hear that.
Well, it's all in your perspective. Right.
So all of these amazing roles, Judy, Sexy Laundry, I'll never forget you in those leopard print pajamas, amazing. And all the great shows that you've done, all the pantos. Is there one role that you've done that really jumps out at you? Or maybe even two, is there a part that you've always wanted to play and haven't had that chance yet?
Mm-hmm. There is a part that I've always wanted to play that I think I will not be able to play. Anita and West Side Story.
Oh.
Unless we produce a geriatric version of the show, I'm fairly certain I will not get to play that role. But I have always loved that musical. I love the music. Right. I love this. Well, it's Romeo and Juliet. I mean, it's a classic. There's that. But a role that I will play at some point is Rose in Gypsy.
Oh yes. If ever there was a role written or an actor entering into the right time to play that, it's you. You'd be brilliant in that.
But
okay. So we got to get working on the powers that be at like Shaw or Stratford or somebody. We'll get working on that. You need to play it in the big time.
See what you can do for me.
I'm working on it. You know, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's the kind of anxious times that we're in or something like that. But more and more lately, I have been having actor's nightmare. And for those of you who may not know, an actor's nightmare is, for me, it's always the same nightmare. It's exactly the same. It's the opening night of Les Mis. I haven't rehearsed. I don't know the lines. The orchestra starts the overture and I can't find my pants. It's always the same nightmare. And I guess it's because of like, you know, the anxiety of an opening or you know, of getting geared up. Do you have an actor's nightmare that you can share or want to share? Do you have one that
yes, I do.
You?
Yeah, I have pants in mine, but yeah,
you might be wearing mine.
That solves it. I can't find the stage. I'm backstage at some theater that I'm unfamiliar with. I can't find my entrance to the stage, and I've heard my cue, but I don't know what my line is. I don't know what character I'm playing. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I figure I'll get out there and do something. That's my actor's nightmare. And I think it speaks to maybe a lack of control that we're in right now. You know?
Maybe that's why it's more of a recurring thing. Because I mean, I haven't been on stage since last summer, so I don't really have any reason to have it, but maybe it is. Maybe it's the kind of times that we're in. I mean, I know that it's, talking to a lot of folks, that I guess it's just our anxiety as performers, wanting to do well, feeling, oh my gosh, I'm going to get out there and, and just fall flat. But I guess it's kind of a common thing. Deb, I think the first show that you did here, if memory serves, was Menopositive. Is that right?
It was.
So you still playing trombone, or?
I really gunned for playing trombone in that show, didn't I?
And you played it super well.
Shelley, our musical director, Shelley, so beautiful, so wonderful. And I was like, I can add a trombone line to this. She's like, yeah, I got it. Finally, she's like, okay, get your trombone. It's in the car. So, I pull it out every 7 years or so, just to see if I remember. For some reason, I do remember how to play it. It's the weirdest thing.
Well, I guess, it's one of those things, right? You sort of never forget. Deb, thanks for doing this. But before we go, what's bringing you joy these days? Where are you finding joy around you?
I'm finding gratitude in the gifts that I have. I have a beautiful century home in gorgeous downtown Beaton. I have a yard that is just spectacular. I have space. And I think that has been a real blessing during this crazy time. Just having some space around me, some space to play in. It's not like a theater to play in, but I've been playing in my yard. I've been playing around my house. I've been trying to be creative in my home, giving my home some loving finally after all these years, and have been wanting to do this. And my partner Sarah and I have also we rescued a dog.
Oh.
She was having empty nest syndrome. We had 2 dogs for the longest time that we had to say goodbye to at the end of last summer. And so we rescued a little puppy, and she is a scaredy dog, but we can see her sort of developing daily. Like, she's coming around. She's becoming more like a dog and less like a chicken, is what I tell people. And she has been a real source of joy in this, just seeing her coming out of her frightened place and finding joy here too. And of course, my beautiful mom, who I am now, we are
Please
now
say hi.
I will. I absolutely will. And
give her a hug when you can, if you're allowed, or whatever.
We're bubbling. She is our bubble.
Oh, well then, give her a big hug from me, because I love her. She's so sweet.
Oh, she's the best.
Yeah.
So, she's.
Oh, that's great. Well, bless your hearts for finding that little stray chicken and turning it into a dog. That's wonderful. Well, Deb, thanks for this. Continue to stay healthy, stay happy. We're, our plans at the theater are like anything else. We're waiting for the all clear to sound. And as soon as we do, we're going to be back firing on all cylinders, and we're going to get you back on that stage ASAP. And,
can I say hi to my acting girls in my acting class?
Yes, of course. Oh, I think I mentioned the fact that
you did mention it.
Go for it.
Tanya, Denise, Cynthia, Katrina, Lauren, Ingrid, Diane, and Lynn. Hi! I cannot wait to get back in the room with you gals. We had so much fun in the 4 out of 6 classes. So I owe them 2 classes, and I plan to make good. And we were just having a gas in there. And our 2-hour class always ran 3.5 hours. So
they got their money's worth. I can't wait to
see
Theatre Orangeville.
See them again.
Awesome. Well, we're going to get that up and running as soon as we can. Debbie, be well. Say hi to Sarah. Love to your mom. And we're going to see you really soon.
Thank you for joining Theatre Orangeville for Backstage Pass with David Nairn. Until next time.